iECHO. iECHO is we'll still call it new because it's new for us here at First Episode Psychosis Project Echo. It's a new software platform. And it's really going to help kind of bring all of our functions that we're doing on this side of the screen together. But also there are going to be many benefits for you as well. And so what are those benefits? It's really going to allow you to be able to integrate your ECHO programs. So ECHO, just to remind you, is an international platform. So ECHOs are happening across the globe. And it's really going to be a place where you're going to register. And we're going to talk more about that. You're going to have an opportunity to register, but to put all that information in one place works really well with Zoom, trust me. So again, you'll be able to kind of like play around in it in a couple of minutes. And for me, that reminder has been helpful. So there is also an integrated care ECHO. And if you talk to me longer than 5 minutes, you'll find out that I love to read and that I believe mental health care is healthcare. And so integrated care is a place for individuals that can come together and talk about integrated care. And even if I have it on my calendar, it's every Friday for the most part at noon. You know, that 30-minute reminder has really been helpful. There's going to be opportunities for us to be able to put PDFs, so copies of the presentation, as well as any supplemental information. And there also be opportunity for discussion all in the same place. You know, again, it's really allowing us to streamline operations. There'll be opportunities for some dashboard and data analytics, and then the enhanced data security that really stood out to me as well. So that's important. This platform is compliant with all laws, privacy laws in the United States. We will not, however, house any protected health information. And I think for anyone that has presented a case presentation, you've done really well with protecting PHI, but still due to the sometimes sensitive nature of the information, we are not going to house those case presentations. But again, there will be opportunity to be able to upload supplemental materials. And then the accessibility, having that built right in is really important. So of course, there is an app for everything. And so I did ask, is the app available for iPhones and Androids? And I know sometimes that can be a bit controversial. But it should be available for all devices. So whether you're using your iPhone or you're actually using your tablet, it is right here. And I really like it. Again, I can look at all the programs that I'm signed up for. You know, I talked about that iCan ECHO that typically happens every Friday, but I was able to see that there is no session, enjoy a long weekend. So that is right here. And also, even if we're away from our desks, from our laptops, many of us will still have our phones. And so there's an opportunity, once you register, download the app, that you can join a session right from your phone, from the app. So we'll talk briefly about creating an account. And so you'll be able, once you are registered, again, you'll be able to access all of the ECHO sessions that you're registered for. There will also be the didactics will also be housed here. Well, the recordings will still be through the YouTube platform. So they'll still be on YouTube. But again, as I mentioned earlier, we also will have a conversation about like what supplemental materials would be helpful. I know during this ECHO, we talk about the value sorting part that comes up often. So you always can reach out, of course, but that could be one example where we just upload the value sorting cards and they're just right there. And so whenever you can go into your app or you can log in and you're going to be able to access those materials. And then again, that important reminder, that 30-minute reminder. So there's going to be a couple different ways. So initially, we're going to talk about like an open registration versus a close. So you'll be able to, so we're going to kind of think of the slides probably a little backwards, but via, like I said, a couple different ways. So for some individuals, they'll receive an email. And what we've learned, the hardest part is just finding the location of the email. And so sometime because of the strong firewalls that you have within your organization, that you might find it in your spam or in your junk folder, or there's some organizations that just might block it. And so, Jamie has graciously agreed to work with your IT department, work with you. And she's done that with some other organizations and institutions, and they've been able to access the email and then to be able to sign up. And then what instructions for what we will call more open registration is just getting a link and going straight to iECHO. We encourage you to bookmark the page and then just use your email, whatever email you're using. I imagine it's your work email. So the same email that you're using to receive the reminders, just using that email, and then you'll be able to easily register. Mobile registration is currently not available. So there's that. I can't echo again. I promise you, they're not giving me anything for all this marketing, but just want to be able to show you the ease of being able to register. It's just showing, see right there with a little arrow, you'll be able to register now. And then it just kind of brings you that information. And as I, keep saying that once you're registered, then you'll also be able to get those reminders. And then after you're completed the registration process, there is an opportunity to be able to complete a little profile. So you think about it's very similar to anything else that you're probably registered for. Nothing too personal, but when I think about what's listed under mine, it's just me, my name, and also where am I located, and then also it asks about my profession. And so I tell people I'm always a social worker first, and so it's just an opportunity. It was a drop down, and there's a space for social workers, and that just can help also when you think about like engagement and building community. And I believe that is where I am going to stop sharing, because my section has ended, my formal section. I'm still here, I'm not going anywhere. But now I'm going to pass the mic to Jamie, and she's going to talk about more practical aspects of iECHO and help all of us register.
Thank you, Crystal. And just a little bit of background. The platform was created by the ECHO Institute, who heads all of the international Project ECHO programs around the world. And the idea came from making it simpler for everybody. It is still relatively new. It just launched in the United States this year. So while I'll be able to go through and show you some things, we do anticipate additional changes and features to be added along the way. And as those come along, I will make sure to keep everybody informed as to what is good and this isn't working quite like how we want to yet. So when you sign in and you register, and you'll have the first episode Psychosis ECHO program available, this is your home screen. So it's divided into basically 3 different sections, 3 different columns. On the far left here, and you're seeing the iECHO platform. Just want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen because I have too many screens open. Thank you, Crystal and Nick. You'll see the ECHO stories. So that's all ECHOs across the world. So you can kind of be connected to what else is happening in the ECHO world. In the middle here are the programs that you are signed up for. And you can see, again, integrated care. Sorry, we're really plugging that program. We're not asking you to sign up for that program unless you want to join us for Fridays at lunch. And you'll see what's coming up. On the other part is any new announcements. And you'll see some announcements that I will share with this network when we transfer over in August. You'll also see that the profile completion, my profile completion is only 75%. I put in as much as I was going to. We just ask that you share your profession and where you are. Anything extra, that is up to you. You can also make your profile private. So if you don't want to share everything to everybody, you can sign up for programs and still keep your information private. And if anybody wants to go through that part of the profile, feel free to reach out. If you have any questions, that should be pretty intuitive when you go into complete your profile, some toggles here and there. So in August, when you want to join the FEP ECHO, that will be on August 22nd, I do believe. You would go, you can click here, you will see the program description. And I'm mostly using integrated care because we've been in here for a little while. So there's content in meat and potatoes to show you. Our FEP ECHO isn't launching until August, so we do not have any content or anything updated in that space yet. But come August, it'll all be there for you. Actually, it'll be more done in July. And you can go to the participant group and you will see the schedule. So you see all the different schedules that are coming up. If I go to last Friday's session, let me refresh a second. If you don't see certain things, that's one trick that I have found along the way. If you hit your refresh, then you can see the content there, the PowerPoint that was presented last Friday. And the same will be available to you as for FEP for the presentations. The guest lecturer is, as you can see, there's a couple of names there. This is still a little bit of a tweak. If it's really important to you and you want to know who presented, just reach out. That's still a bug that the iECHO folks are working out. But when you go to the session at the very beginning where it says no session, if it was an active session, if it was the day of the session, you will have a button there that says join session, and that will take you directly to Zoom. And it will work just like it does right now as we are in Zoom. If you click around and you get lost, the upper left-hand oval that says Project ECHO, that takes you home. So if you're a bit confused and don't know where you are and you want to get back to the starting point, that will get you there. I'm going to go back in here. And you see this discussions tab here. The discussions is a place, as a coordinator, I can send announcements, or any other hub members can send announcements to the network. But there's also conversations. So say you have a question that comes up before we meet on August 22nd. You can post a question here for the network, and we will get a notification that you asked a question here, and then we can respond. So that's another great way to interact and engage. So you don't have to hold your questions until we meet the next month. The other section here is the content. This is content that has happened for integrated care since we've been on the new platform. Unfortunately, at this time, it is not organized in any meaningful way. It is not chronological or alphabetical. And that has been many requests. So IT is still working on that so that this could be a more useful place for you to find your content. I highly recommend that you use the schedule to find the specific content. If you're trying to find something and don't see it, I'm available and happy to help you along the way. That is the quick overview. There's some features here that are on mine because I'm an administrator. And just for those who may be a hub member on some other ECHO platforms and not in participant, you can toggle if you click your name, we can go to participant view, and that is the one that I am a participant of. I am going to stop my share. There is a link in the chat that goes straight to registration. So if you have any questions, you can click there, get started. And I'm going to turn this back over to Nick because I think we're actually going to spend 5 minutes here.
Yeah.